It's noon here in Ventnor City, New Jersey, and our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. And this is CarEdge Live for Thursday, January 2nd, 2025. My, oh my, where is 2025 gone already? Oh, my goodness gracious. With your hosts, me, Ray, the crazy guy, and, well, my son looking and dressing like a CEO today, Mr. Zach. How are you today, handsome?
Happy Thursday, everyone. Happy New Year. I'm doing great, Dad. Excited to be here. Today's show is brought to you by CarEdge.com. Year-end new car sales are just about to end. Most of them end today, end of day today. Our promotion back at CarEdge.com has 20 hours remaining. So if we can help you out, we've got $100 off our concierge car buying service, which, damn, did we have a big end of the year. Last year, 25% off CarEdge Insights for another hour or so, or another 20 hours or so as well. And again, those year-end new car deals literally have, like, today. That's it to get your hands on these last incentives from the automakers. But we expect them to be restocking those here in January, February, March, and in 2025. The big story I wanted to talk about today, Dad, is you and Justin on the team put together why January is a great time to buy a used car. The title of today's stream is Do Not Wait to Buy a Car Right Now. How the heck can I be coming out with a title, Do Not Wait to Buy a Car Right Now, when we just got out of the end of year? End of year, I thought, was the best time to buy a car. What am I talking about here? What did you and Justin do a deep dive on when it comes to buying a used car in January?
Oh, we did a deep dive?
Sounds
oh
like
my
it.
God, we dove so deep. Oh, it was one of the few times that one of my dive watches that's good to 300 meters or 1,000 feet actually came in handy. That's how deep a dive we did. I'm so thankful. Well, what Justin and I we're talking about is used cars, not necessarily new cars in January, but used cars. And what's the rationale behind why January could be a very good time to buy a used car? It's quite simple. Sales were somewhat robust at new car dealerships in November and December, means they took a lot of cars in trade. What are the slowest months of the year at franchised automobile dealerships? I'll give you a clue. It's either the first month of the year or the second month of the year. January and February, one of those months will be the slowest sales month of the year. Always happens that way.
Yep.
Well, one of the things you have to realize on the used car side of things is an aging policy that dealerships have. When I was with the Penske organization, it was 60 days. We had 60 days to turn that into cash, or it went to the wholesale auctions. Okay. So dealerships have typically between 60 and 90 days to sell used cars. Well, if they traded it in November or early December, guess what? They got to get rid of it by the end of January or the middle of February. And there ain't nobody walking into the dealerships in January and February, especially in the Midwest and the Northeast and the Mid-Atlantic coast, where sales can be impacted by weather. So if you are in the market for a used car, there is probably no better time to buy one than January or February prior to spring selling season, when, paying customers are rather a scarcity.
Well, right now, paying customers are a scarcity, but once spring
Yes.
selling season comes along, what you were
That's
just
a
saying,
different
that's
story.
when, yeah, so it's supply and demand. So that's what's interesting about this is there's actually a ton of demand for new cars at the end of the year, but supply this year was significantly high, and automakers meet that high demand with lots of incentives to try and get the demand to show up, to try and get us as customers to show up. So what happens on the other side of that? Like you just said, supply of vehicles goes up because there were so many trade-ins, but then demand of customers falls off a cliff. Who the heck, after spending all their money on Christmas gifts, buying a new car, all that, who's waking up and saying, you know what I want to do on January 2nd? I want to go spend $25,000 on, not a lot of people. But when do people start to wake up and say, you know what, I want to buy a used car? March 15th, April 15th, those months when you've got your tax refunds coming in. So there is this window here. It's like an 8-week window. And I think what's fascinating is that you actually have leverage still on the trade-in too. So if you're going to trade in and get another used vehicle, you can try and play both sides of this. You can say, hey, used car prices are still really high. I deserve premium for my trade-in. And I know you have no customers coming in and you've been sitting on this car for 30 days because you traded it at the beginning of December. Give me a deal. It's interesting. I think there's a lot of leverage for the customer here.
And you can say, if you have a trade-in to the dealer, you're going to be ever so thankful you have my car to sell come spring selling season and tax season. You're going to reap the rewards of having traded it now. But the problem for most dealers is they can't allow their used car inventory to sit until spring selling season. Most just don't have the cash flow to be able to do that. So one of my favorite things, look at the weather forecast. If you're in the Midwest, the Northeast, along the Mid-Atlantic coast, look at the weather forecast, see when there's going to be an Arctic blast, see when there's going to be a snowstorm. As the snow starts coming down, it's
I know, it's just wild. I remember being at your store. I mean, when was this?
Snowmageddon here when we were in the Baltimore area.
Yeah.
And it was when you first moved out, 2010,
something like that. And I remember
December and January.
I cleaned cars
2011
for like a week, and I don't know if you guys sold a single car.
Customers couldn't come in. So if here's the thing to remember. As a salesperson, salespeople are commissioned. Okay, most do not have a salary. When it snows, part of a sales person's responsibility is to help clear the vehicles on the lot. What's the one thing a salesperson doesn't want to do? You don't want to be out there. He or she doesn't want to be out there snow brooming 50, 60, 70 cars. They would much rather be talking to a customer. So if it has snowed, if there's any measurable snowfall, especially if it's a big storm, go in if you have an interest in buying a car. Any salesperson will latch on to you like a leech because they don't want to have to be out there shoveling and cleaning cars. They would much rather work with you and try and figure out how to sell you a car and stay inside.
So again, the opportunity, Dad, is becoming it's still a buyer's market. I see Igor in the chat talking about Nissan here, and Igor's spot on. There are some new car brands that the incentives are still going to be ridiculous here in January and February because it's not like they sold out of all their inventory. And I hear what you're saying is it's a buyer's market. Wait for it to be a snow day. Go get yourself a slam dunk deal.
Oh, Mike, I've literally worked at stores where we got so much snow that we even advertise dig your own deal. If you dig your car out, we'll give you an extra $200 off on it, or an extra $300 or whatever it was, because we didn't want to have to be out there digging those damn things out. I mean, if you have 200 or 300 cars on the lot, that's a pain in the ass. Am I allowed to say ass on the live show?
I don't know if you are.
In reference to a donkey, okay? It's a pain in the donkey. And
donkey, Dad. Who calls it a donkey?
A donkey.
A donkey.
A donkey. Whatever. It's an ass. Okay? And so my point is, check the weather, see when it's going to be frigid or when it's going to snow. Nobody's going to be at the dealership. If you really are a legitimate buyer, you will be able to pretty much write your own ticket because they'll be just thrilled to have somebody in there that literally wants to buy a car.
Dad, you know what we're thrilled about? The art of the real. Thank you for the incredibly kind contribution to CarEdge Live. Shocking statement from Art of the Real. Quote, why am I still giving these guys money when I've already bought my car?
Well, we can't answer that. But we will say this: we're forever thankful that you are, and we pray that you never stop giving. Okay, feel free. Set aside $20 a week every week. Do it. Hey, we're
Dave
trying to grow
Ramsey's
a
getting
business
upset
here.
with you right now, Dad. Dave Ramsey said, "Do not listen to Ray Shupska. Do not set aside $20 a week for these two guys."
It's the new year, but it's time to take on some bad habits. And one of the worst habits you can have would be to set aside $20 a week and ship it off to your friends Ray and Zach at CarEdge, so that we can live a slightly better life. What the hell?
Dad, let's help Jerry out. Jerry, thank you for the kind
Thank you, Jerry.
contribution. OTD price for a 2024 Porsche Boxster. Let's take a peek at a beautiful Porsche. Let me head on over to the Magic Car Edge machine. Give me 1 second. So I'm going
It
to go to
is
the car
magic.
search. Yeah, when it works the way you want it
Yeah.
to. It's really quite nice. All right, Dad, do you mind reading out that VIN to me?
WP0A2A8XR K205367.
VIN must be exactly 17 characters. Did we miss one here?
WP
WP0A
A2A 8XRK.
205367.
What did I miss?
I don't think you missed one. I don't think I missed one. Jerry, can you double check that pretty please and leave it in the chat? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, we're missing one.
Yeah, we're missing a digit somewhere.
We're missing a digit, Mr. Copeland, but we would love to help you out. So please.
May I answer a question real quick? Somebody want to know if the HVAC system has been taken care of yet. I got good news. There's a rumor that my HVAC people might show up today or tomorrow or Monday and start installing the brand new HVAC system. So once again, I could have heat in my entire apartment instead of in just a little cocoon that I create with a couple space heaters.
Love that. We've got here, Dad. Where was it? I just lost it.
I'm sorry.
From Brian. How do we raise a question in here for them to read live? I have a very important question I'd love to get answered. Just like that, Brian. Leave it in the chat and we will we'll pull it up on the screen and we'll answer it. Or at least we'll try our best to. We've already got some insight here from Igor. Porsche Boxers sell with no discount, so you've got some good insight there. But let's see if we can get our hands on the full VIN so that we can run this for Jerry. Jerry, thanks again for contributing. We appreciate it. From Matthew, good to see Matthew. Happy New Year. Who in their right mind gets a tax refund? I always owe my federal taxes just under the penalty threshold. Don't give those bums an interest-free loan. Damn it. I think I more power to you, Matthew, but a lot of people get refunds.
A lot of people use it as a forced savings account, which is literally ridiculous. Much like Matthew, every year on the 15th of April, I have to strike the government a nice size check because I would rather owe them the money and I get to utilize my money however I want before I have to write that check. And I'll pay them when it's due. They don't need to be working with my money the whole time. I haven't gotten a refund in years.
Yeah.
So yes, don't settle for that interest-free loan. Damn it.
Adam, we're going to come to your question here in just a moment. I was able to, Dad, pull up Jerry's vehicle. So it's a used 2024 Porsche 718 Boxster at Volkswagen of Naples. So you can see here they've got it listed at $96,300. The vehicle has 1,095 miles on it. It's a Porsche approved certified. How could a VW store be selling a certified pre-owned vehicle?
Well, not Porsche certified. It would have to be sold by a Porsche dealership.
Then it's interesting. The Carfax says the listed price is $90,000. A fair value is $86,850. No accidents reported. When I go to CarEdge, one of the first things I noticed when I pulled it up here, look at the price history on this, Dad. What are they doing? They're playing a lot of games with the price.
I don't know, but it would scare me. It's in Naples, Florida.
Seriously though, look at this price shenanigans. On November 15th, they had it listed at 81,996. Back in October, they had it listed for 84,000. They're all over the map with this
Yeah.
price. This is ridiculous, I think, in terms of how expensive it is.
It is, and why is it that they've gone through these pricing shenanigans?
Probably to drum up interest, but our algorithm is suggesting a $4,800 or $5,000 discount from where they currently are. I don't even know if that's going to be enough. I would be running this through Black Book. That'd be the first thing I'm doing to see what's going. And then we've got a lot of people saying watch out for previously flooded vehicles.
Yeah, that would be my concern. According to Igor, VW can CPO Porsches as a Porsche CPO because Porsche is a part of VW Group. Yeah, well, Acura is a part of Honda, but Honda can't certify an Acura.
So I guess it could be different depending on the
brands.
Yeah.
Perhaps. Yeah.
Jerry, I'm doing a Black Book value on that vehicle. I'm seeing what Black Book says it's worth, both in terms of retail and trade-in, and then I'm referencing the fact that they've had a price history as low as $81,000 when I called them. And
why don't you offer them that and see what they take?
Yep, exactly. We've got from Charles, Dad. Thank you, Charles. Giving up on my Rubicon Gladiator. Target discount on this one. Give me 1 second. We're going back to the CarEdge machine.
Okay.
Bear with me.
Oh, well, we're all bearing with you.
Yes, you are. Dad, do you mind reading me a vehicle identification number?
1N6ED. 1.
Sorry, wait, that was ED?
ED, yeah, Ed. 1N6ED. 1E K7NN 691724.
We got to get back to you reading these out phonetically. I think that'd be fun.
Can't do that.
I think it'd be fun.
Well, it might be for some folks, but not for me.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that's like we're in the entertainment business partly. So anyway, all right. So Charles has given up on the Rubicon Gladiator. The G. Yeah. We're looking now at a 2022 Nissan Frontier Pro 4X 4-wheel drive. We've got an advertised price of $31,900. The CarEdge fair price range anywhere from $30,706 to $31,216. So looking like we're saying get $1,000 off. Let's come down here. They've had this for 69 days.
Ooh, so they should be getting ready to use it to sell it because their aging policy is probably somewhere between 60 and 90 days.
Let's analyze the price history real quick here because the price history is quite fascinating. This vehicle was originally listed as a used vehicle for sale back in October, $33,988. And look at this, Dad. We are down now to $31,900. So honestly, I mean, shooting for another $1,000 off with a clean out the door worksheet. Clean out the door worksheet meaning no crazy dealer fees and things like that. That could be pretty interesting.
Yes. How many miles are on it?
All right, give me a second here. 27,859. Hey, Justice or Phil or anyone on the CarEdge team, could we get a comma separated value here for mileage, pretty please? If we don't mind, making a ticket for the team. But 27,859 miles on it.
Not too bad. It's under the 15,000 miles a year. So yeah, you're good. Sounds. Yeah.
Hey, just one other thing to reference here. Let me scroll down. We got cost of ownership. We've got all that. I was going to say here, the savings with CarEdge, $2,500 right here. If y'all are not familiar, back on CarEdge.com, I'll go to it right now. Underneath research, we have see what others paid. So I see some questions about what should I pay for a certain vehicle. Not only can you use the car search, you can come here and see what our professional CarEdge concierge team have been able to get in terms of deals, as well as community submitted deals. So what other people in the community have gotten. There's 44 pages of deals here. Please, 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 whether you use the car search or you use, again, it's caredge.com, and then under research, see what others paid. Use that. It's a great resource to see what other people have paid to help inform what a fair price is for you to pay. So please, please, please take a peek at that.
Thank you for that, Igor. So many brands have different ways of doing things. So it's nice to know that VW dealers can certify Audi and Porsche, but Bentley and Lamborghini. Oh, and Bentley, but Lamborghini and Bugatti, well, they're off the table.
Interesting.
It's
Fascinating.
nice to. I don't know any VW dealerships that would be selling a Bugatti anyway, but that's,
Let's keep coming here in the chat, Dad. We've got so many kind contributions that have come through, and we need to help Brian out, who asked earlier how to get his question answered. From
yeah.
Adam. Nice to see you, Adam. Thanks for the contribution. What is your opinion on Chinese electric cars? They seem incredible, man. Have you watched any of the review videos, Dad, of these Chinese electric vehicles? They are unreal. They are like so luxurious, so tech forward. Obviously, they're not sold here in the United States, but China is the number one automaker globally in terms of which country produces the most vehicles. So, what is your take on electric vehicles from China?
I have none. And the reason, because I have no real knowledge.
Yep.
You know, I have seen a couple videos regarding some of the cars. The fit and finish on some of the more expensive ones seems quite good. Drivetrains and everything, software seems good. The only thing that would scare the hell out of me, in all seriousness,
Yeah,
is exactly how much information that is collected in Chinese automobiles that gets transmitted back to the Chinese government.
because we know that happens here in the United States. There was the huge story last
Yes.
year with General Motors with the class action for OnStar. So, like, we know it happens already. You know, would you prefer your information going to American conglomerates or Chinese conglomerates? Pick your poison.
Yeah, and I'm not. That part scares me. The amount of tracking and everything else that they could. But the quality of the vehicles is probably excellent in most cases, would be my guess.
Just going to take a second here. The thumbnail says, do not wait to buy a car. Again, the theme for today is we just went through the end of year new car selling extravaganza. Now dealerships start to slow down over the next couple of weeks. They have a lot of trade-ins. If you're in the market for a used vehicle, January and February are a great time before the spring selling season, tax returns, to get a deal on a used vehicle. And there's been conversation in the chat all today about manufacturers that still have an oversupply of inventory and still have big incentives and are wheeling and dealing to make deals. So it's a great time if you want to buy a vehicle to be in the market, if you need to buy a vehicle to be in the market. If you can continue to wait, don't spend money on cars. That's also a prudent thing to do. We have from Baron, Happy New Year,
Baron.
Gentlemen. Thank you. The same to you as well. Hopefully you had fun, stayed safe. Matthew saying, do not pay $100,000 for a base Boxster run. Thank you, Matthew, for your perspective there.
I'm running.
He's running. We've got here, Dad, from Jose. Thank you, Jose. We appreciate the contribution. And your question is, I'm paying for my Chevy Traverse RS $1,000 on lease, which I think is a lot. I have a year left. I want to switch to a Maverick LXT, $32,000 on a lease. The dealers will pay most of the negative balance of $6,000. Is that recommended? So let's break this down for Jose. Let's help out Jose as best we can, Dad.
I'm not sure how to do that.
So let's break it down. So Jose is currently paying $1,000 a month on a lease
on a Traverse.
On a Chevy Traverse lease, wants to get into a Maverick.
Yes.
Saying he has a negative balance. How can you have a negative balance on a lease?
What do you mean? Because leases are designed to go full term. So if you try to pay off a lease early, typically the payoff is, are you sitting down? It's a good thing that you are. The payoff is the residual value plus your remaining payments, less a wee little bit of interest, because you're going to be paying it off a tad bit early. So if he has a year left, so he's got $12,000 in payments plus the residual. So yeah, he's going to be upside down.
Exactly. So I think it's important for everyone to understand, if you're in a lease and you want to get out of that lease, it's not like the payments for the rest of the lease term just magically go away, which could be a really good reason to not get out of your lease early, right?
Anytime I would have a customer come in that wanted to get out of a lease early, the words that came out of my mouth and the words that came out of my mouth when somebody was just getting into a lease. Well, let's say I go into a 3-year lease and 2 years in, I decide I want to upgrade to another car. My response to the customer was always the same. Leases are designed to go full term. Okay. So it doesn't benefit you to lease something so that you can try and trade out of it 2 years into a 3-year lease. I would suggest that Jose stay in this vehicle for the remainder of the term and be done with it, and then start fresh rather than roll $6,000 of negative equity into the Maverick lease. And then realistically, it's all going to depend on what the payment ends up being, but $6,000 of negative equity impacts the payment by about $180 a month. So you're going to pay $180 a month just to take care of your negative equity. I would suggest you wait on that Maverick for a year.
Love that, Dad. Jose, thank you for the kind contribution. Hopefully you found value in my dad's response. I thought that was really, really, really solid advice. From Brian earlier, Dad. Unfortunately, I'm on shift today as a firefighter, so I can't get to the dealer lots. But would it still be okay if I had to wait and raise cash for a good down payment or pay off the credit card debt first? Brian, we also have a community forum. That's where I'm going with this. We have a community forum, Brian. CarEdge.com/community. Why don't you post your question over there, and then we'll be able to do a better job getting you help, because I'm not quite sure I understand what you're asking here, but I feel compelled to want to try and help you. So that's my
the more cash you can raise for a good down payment, the better off you're going to be.
Yep, absolutely. We've got here, Dad, from Chris Rowe. Next week, the Arctic Blast is coming to the Midwest. Yeah, next week's setting up to be a really good time to go to some dealer lots to buy a used car. Is it not?
Yes. Absolutely. I mean, really, as a customer, I know you really don't want to be out there. The salesperson wants to be out on that lot less than you do.
Yeah.
I remember a time at Admiral Nissan in Pleasantville, New Jersey, on the Black Horse Pike and Route 9, when that's where it was located, just outside of Atlantic City. We had a tremendous cold snap, okay? And I remember I had a customer and he wanted to test drive a particular car.
Okay.
It was covered in about an inch of ice. Okay. I'm out there bundled up with scrapers and everything, trying to break through the ice. And he's inside drinking hot chocolate, and I'm out there freezing my donkey off. It was, trust me. And you know what I wanted as a reward for having to do that?
A commission.
I wanted to sell that damn car, whatever I needed to do. So, yes, if there's an Arctic blast coming, yeah, be a good time. Because I'm telling you, the salesperson doesn't want his donkey out there. So, yeah, trust me. They work on commission. They want to get something in return for being ice cold.
Absolutely. Hey, if you're up for it, Dad, let's go a little bit over today. I don't have anything until the top of the hour, so if you're game for it, let's stay on a little bit. And in part, I bring that up because I'd love some. It's the new year. I'd love some feedback from the community. What'd you like from us at CarEdge last year? What do you want to see more of in 2025, less of in 2025? And I will again.
Can I say something? May I say one thing?
Can I get one more thing out of my mouth?
Yes, go ahead.
Last day of our promotion back on CarEdge.com. Go for it, Dad.
Well, when you say what do you want to see less of, you're not allowed to say Zach and I. Okay?
Yeah, that's off limits. Yeah.
Okay, you can say it, but we probably won't deliver that. But you can say it. I was thinking, that perhaps I should start doing a late night show called CarEdge After Dark or something.
That could be fun too. I actually think that could be really fun. We get you with like a glass of whiskey or something like that, telling stories. That'd be really fun.
Yeah, and answering questions and stuff,
That could be great.
And maybe I actually could use the word ass in that show, but
you know what? I would really like that. All right, leave some feedback for us. And again, last day of our end of year promo back on the CarEdge website. All right, we got to do two things before we go to our favorite segment of the show. First things first, we got to go back over to NHTSA for recalls, guys.
Okay.
We got to look. I mean, I'll choose, we can choose a relative date. do this year, but I don't think we have any. Yeah, there are no recalls yet, even though Ford just announced one. There are no recalls yet in the NHTSA database. So, Dad, before I toggle this to be last year, who do you think won? Which automaker do you think won? Oh, I love this. CarEdge Unfiltered is the show that we're going to have. I actually love that, Dad. We should do CarEdge Unfiltered. But who do you think won? Which automaker won the award of most recalled vehicles?
I think it was Stellantis. I think Ford was extremely disappointed that they weren't able to come through and win it again. And they're especially disappointed because they replaced their quality control guy or gal because they were paying so much money in extra warranty costs, and yet that guy took him from first place to second place and deserved a friggin' bonus, not a boot in the ass. So but I think it was Stellantis that won.
All right, folks, my dad is correct. It is Stellantis. Although Ford was making a year-end push here. Yeah, they added 5 recalls in the last 3 or 4 days of the calendar year. Stellantis, Chrysler, FCA, and Stellantis had 72 recalls last year. Ford with 67 recalls coming in second place. And just as a reminder, we'll jump in here and I'll show each of you. Wait for it. We can go back to 2023. So we can look at the 2023 numbers really quick. You can see here for 2023, Ford had 58 recalls leading the league, followed by Chrysler and Stellantis at 45. So the magnitudes of scale, the number of recalls have gone up significantly.
Think about this for a second. Last time I checked, and I'm not real good with math.
Yep.
But last time I checked, there's 52 weeks in a year.
Yep.
Okay. There's 12 months, 52 weeks. How the hell do you have 72 recalls? That's like a recall and a quarter a week. Yeah. I mean, my God, what kind of crap are you producing that you were recalling? There's more than one recall every week for your brand. You should be ashamed of yourself as a manufacturer. Now, Ford, I was just giving kudos to their last quality control person, only to find out that the number of recalls actually went up from 55 to 67. So now I understand why they got the boot. Is that the golden boot, like they call it in soccer?
Yeah.
But that's more than a recall week. That is asinine.
I haven't looked. Let's look at 2022 as well. So again, your league leader in 2023 was Ford with 58 recalls. Ford got second place in recalls in 2024 with 65. Stellantis had 72, up from 45 the year before. Let's go back to 2022, Dad. I haven't looked at this. Let's do it together. So we're saying January 1st of 2022 to December 31st of 2022. Ford had 68 recalls in 2022.
That's consistently bad.
Stellantis was at 39 back then. Wow, things have gotten really bad, actually, if you think about that.
Yeah.
Think about the trajectory over at Stellantis. 39, 45, 72. Whoa.
No wonder they're looking for a new CEO. That's not caring. That's the only rationale you can come up with, is you just don't care.
Yeah.
Okay. And for Stellantis, as the number of their recalls has gone up, their market share has continued to drop. But we always associated with the fact that their MSRPs went up so much. But maybe it was both a cost and quality concern. Obviously, at Ford, people don't care. It's their market share doesn't seem to be going down, but bless their hearts, their recalls did go up again.
All right, Pops, let's go to
place, but close.
Let's go to our favorite segment of the show.
Really? You have got to be kidding me.
All right. This is a Toyota dealer in California buying a 2024 Toyota Grand Highlander. Market value selling price for this vehicle is $47,247. Car doc for 5 years costs $1,695. Car doc Connect costs an additional $1,895. Nitrogen in those tires cost an easy $199. Clear Shield costs $699. The appearance protection package is $1,895. We've got taxable fees of $35, a doc fee of $358, and then down just below my dad's head and my head, you can see the platinum warranty for $3,995, as well as the tire and wheel protection for $1,850, taking your final out the door price to $65,170. Now, before you vamp on this, I will share the good news, which this was a CarEdge concierge customer, and boom, there you go. That was the final deal. We got all that crap removed, but holy crap, man, that's a lot of crap.
That you've heard me say any number of times that the dealerships are rather creative. There is some true creativity there. And what I was going to say when I first saw that is the beauty of all this is, do you know what it costs to just leave?
Yeah.
Nothing. Okay. And apparently, under threat of leaving, they'll take all that stuff off. You've heard me say it a million times. Dealerships can't get what they don't ask for. Customers can't get what they don't ask for. Obviously, the dealership asks for all this. The customer said no. The customer said, I'll pay X.
Well, in this case, obviously, it was one of our concierges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to. Do I blame the dealership for asking? No, that's their job. Because somebody just might say yes, and that's the job at the dealership. When you get a plane ticket, they just give you what the rate is today. They don't say, oh, by the way, yesterday Joe Schmo bought the same round trip airfare for $300 less. So they ask what they ask with the hope that they'll get it, that you won't keep checking the fares or you won't keep checking the prices. So just, if you don't want any of the stuff, say, I don't want any of the stuff. If you're going to insist that I take this stuff, it's real simple. I got a quality pair of shoes, and those shoes with my feet in them are going to walk right out that door. And when we walk right out that door, you got nothing. Now, with me still sitting here, you have the opportunity of getting something, but you got to take all that crap off the car.
Dad, I got tagged over the weekend, this past week, on a bunch of TikToks, people trying to buy Toyotas. And I was reading the comments, and people were saying, well, it's known that you can't negotiate with Toyota dealers. And I almost shed a tear, because I'm like, wait, that means someone out there is gonna pay for this crap.
Yes.
It makes the value proposition of what we do at CarEdge. You pay us $1,000, again, $100 off for one final day here, if you want access to that service, and we do it all for you. I mean, it makes that value prop so simple. But it's like, my comment on X was, high schools should teach how to buy a car. Like, you should not be posting on social media. Well, I mean, obviously you're not going to negotiate with Toyota dealers. They don't negotiate. No, you can. You should. Even if they say they won't, you can. This is unacceptable. Don't spend an additional $15,000 that you don't need to spend.
The truth of the matter is, there's more than one Toyota dealership, and so there's
pros and cons to how the manufacturers set up their dealer network. They can just sell all their inventory to all the dealers. Con, customers can use that to their advantage to get the best deal. Get dealers to compete against each other. That's what we do, baby.
Yeah, and the truth of the matter is, you do not have to stay in your neighborhood to buy your car. You don't. That's the beauty of how all this works. So
buying car out of state, it's a great way to save money.
Yes. Yeah. Especially if one's in the upper Midwest and it's in the middle of a snowstorm. They can work with you. When business is slow, they'll work with you. Now, if you're in Southern California where business doesn't get so slow, maybe not. Yeah.
Yeah,
May I
definitely.
say something about my son's jersey that I'm wearing today? I'm saddened and concerned, and I really, the only reason I wore it is because I wore a black T-shirt today. I I am so disappointed in the Phoenix Suns and how they're playing and the lack of heart that they are showing when they're playing, that I almost feel like taking this shirt off and burning it. Well, yeah, it would help heat the apartment, wouldn't it? Maybe I will. Just maybe I will. But it is so disappointing that the big three, as they like to call them in Phoenix, Kevin Durant,
Yep.
Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal, the big three. You know who they scare? Nobody.
I want to come here, Dad. Pepper says, can I hire you to go with me to buy a car? Yeah, we offer this service, CarEdge.com. Again, I know.
We don't offer the service that I'm going to go with them.
Not you, but us. Come on, pops. Let me have my moment. Buy a car buying service. Learn more about what we offer right here back on CarEdge.com. There I am. Wow, looking all happy and bright and whatnot. So take a peek, gang. So much good information back on CarEdge.com. You can learn about that. All right, I want to do a couple more things. First and foremost, from Matthew. Thank you, Matthew, for the kind contribution. Ford wins customer impact. Stellantis still on the lot.
Yeah, that's true.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Charlie earlier in the show said glass of water. Yes, that's correct.
Well, Charlie knows, and Charlie's Hamburgers. Just so you know, okay, Charlie's Hamburgers literally is a place in the suburbs of Philadelphia. They originally had a location in Springfield, Pennsylvania, where Uncle Kenny lives.
Yep.
It used to be right next to Dick Barone Chevrolet when it was Dick Barone Chevrolet. So you know how many years I'm going back when I say that was on Woodland Avenue. And they've moved, I think, to Fulcroft. Uncle Kenny still goes there with Aunt Doreen to get the hamburgers there. They make a mean hamburger. So if you're ever in the Delaware County suburbs of Philadelphia, head over to Charlie's Hamburgers and get yourself a good cheeseburger.
There you go. Dad, I wanted to take a moment here to also share with our community. We had a team meeting earlier today. I asked Steve and Adam about this. I'm curious what you think, and our lawyer. I asked our lawyer this too. I wish that we could like live stream that meeting that we had earlier, or like record it and share it back out, because I think it would show. I don't know. I just think it would like fully show our community what we're up to behind the scenes and make it not behind the scenes, because this whole company is powered by the community that we serve. So throwing that out there as an idea. And I did want to share one thing.
Yeah.
Which is this. This is from our kickoff slides from earlier today. Our areas of focus this year, guys, open to feedback on this, but this is how we think about it. Build the world's best car research platform. So we're investing this year. We'll invest probably $3 to $5 million into building out a car research platform, continuing to build out our car research platform, deliver a 10 times better car buying experience. That's what we've been trying to do with the concierge service, connecting customers to dealers, and then increase lifetime value. That's our business jargon, meaning, can we help people get insurance? Can we help people get maintenance and repairs? Can we help people provide value? Finance, anything. Refinance. Can we help people provide value once they own their vehicle? So there you go. Those are the areas of focus this year. Very curious how our community reacts to that. And then, curious how people would react to us. Like, I don't know. We do an annual kickoff, and I do kind of quarterly big recap meetings. But today, I mean, I almost cried at our team meeting. I know you said you did cry.
Yeah,
so, like,
I was reduced to tears. There were two members on the concierge side of things that working for CarEdge has been life altering, in the sense that these are people that had spent time literally in car dealerships. Okay. And when you're a salesperson or a sales manager in a dealership, most places they expect you to work from what's known as bell to bell, open to close, 10, 12 hours a day. and you never get to participate in any of the things that your children or your family is doing. And both, I mean, as Chris said, he said, this working for CarEdge has not only changed my life, but it is changing the lives of my children because their father is present in their lives. That means so much to me because I know I missed everything when you and your sister were growing up. And when I managed dealerships and I had other sales managers, Anthony, for instance, and I said to him, if and when you have children, you will go to every function. You will go to every softball game. You will go to every soccer game. There is no reason for you to miss any of that. I missed it. I'll cover for you because I've already missed it, but I don't want you missing it. And hearing that from those two today was really, it reduced me to tears because it has a material impact in multiple people's lives.
Yeah, it's
So
incredible.
it's not just you and I, talking crap every day. This is such a small part of what CarEdge is.
It's
This
really
is just the
incredible.
public part.
Yeah. So that's
That
what I'm
is,
saying. I wanna open it up. I want 2025 for me as a year of even more transparency, even more like sharing behind like under the hood of what we're building, because I think the lives that we've been able to change of like my life is so different today than it would have been. Obviously, your life is the team that we work with. Many people have found this to be transformative for their lives and their
yeah,
careers. It's all because of the people that choose to do business with us. And so why not open the hood and share with everyone, this is how we do business. This is what you're supporting. To
yeah,
me, I'm 29 still, Dad. And it's wild to think that as a 29-year-old, I run an 8-figure business. Like I can't believe that. I can't believe that at 29, I'm responsible for an 8-figure business. It's wild to me. And let's keep doing things differently. Let's keep sharing with our community. I don't know, man. I said it earlier today on the meeting. I was like, I kind of sometimes feel like I have imposter syndrome, but that's partly what inspires me to keep doing things differently. So I don't know. I'm gonna find a way. I'm gonna talk to our lawyer. I'm gonna talk to Matt. I want to
yeah,
make sure that by doing this, I'm not like setting us up for something bad. Because I've certainly learned that lesson over the years. You can
yes,
push
yes,
the boundaries of things very, very, very far. Making sure you're doing things legally is critically important. So feeling super proud. I did share a link in the chat, the manifesto I wrote about this company and what you were just saying, Dad. I wrote this. I remember sharing this with you for the first time, and it's just about all we do for why we do what we do here. It talks about our family. You look so cute in that photo. Wait a second.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So we'll see. Want to share more and
Yeah,
more.
find out what you can share because even though
I mean, I can share anything. It's just, am I going to set us up for someone to come after us down the like? I can share everything, but is that
yeah,
actually
well, I
prudent?
mean, publicly traded companies kind of share everything to a
Yeah.
degree.
Yep.
But I don't, legally, what should we share or what shouldn't we share? Um,
Any lawyer worth their salt's gonna say share nothing, do nothing, be as prudent as possible. I want to find a way to try and expose as much as possible because it's not like there's anything crazy going on behind the scenes. We spent the meeting today talking about how do you build the world's best car research platform. You actually help answer questions that are hard
yeah.
to answer. Like this is what you do. So anyway, but
May I say something about our Saturday night live stream that we did the
the
fundraiser?
fundraiser. What did we end
Yeah,
up raising?
$10,000. Now I will say this. Herb Chambers, who is a big dealer group in the Boston area,
Yeah, massive.
agreed to donate $100 million to Massachusetts General Hospital to build a new tower and for cancer research. But I want you to know it's the $10,000 that we raised that is going to push everything over the top and lead to a cure. I'm hopeful.
Dad, it's not a competition at all. It's incredible that so much money has been raised for Massachusetts General Hospital. And yeah, that contribution from Herb Chambers is
Yes,
unreal. I aspire to someday be able to be as
yes,
philanthropic. Could you imagine, Dad? Like $100 million. It doesn't matter how wealthy you are. That's an insane amount of money that goes a very far way. Like, yeah, absolutely, absolutely wild. So really beautiful stuff.
yeah. He's 83 years old. He's made a fortune in the car business. His estimated net worth is $2.9 billion, and he wants to give back to the community that gave so much to him, and to make that type of donation. You know, I rail on car dealers all the time, but to be able to realize that you could impact so many more people's lives by donating, making a donation like this. Um, it, he deserves a gold star for that.
Yeah, philanthropy.
Plus his name on the damn tower. Um,
If I'm not mistaken, when Mom was at MGH, she was in the Sheldon Adelson, tower, and that, obviously the casino magnet. I want to pull up a comment here because I find fascinating. Sean says, "I'm looking at Zach's LinkedIn profile right now, and you still share too much information there." I don't think so. I'm very public. Google my name. You want to learn about the origin story of this company, quitting my last job to start this with my dad? It's all right there. You want to learn about our family? It's all right there. That is definitely the approach that I've taken from Michael. Thank you, Michael. Happy
thank
New Year's, Michael. Thank you so much for all your support recently. It's been very touching, to say the least. Come spring, you should do the joint CarEdge Black Book event from New York.
New York Stock Exchange.
Oh, that I had suggested. Backdrop for the video, etc. is outstanding and great exposure. I've got some connections, Dad, that could get us at the New York Stock Exchange. I was thinking we wait until, I don't know, they're ringing the bell with us being publicly traded or something like that. But we could get to the New York Stock Exchange. That's not too far away if we wanted to.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, I'm real good at riding trains.
So good at riding trains. Folks, if we can help you out with anything, again, today is the last day of our year-end promotion. We're not going to be running another promotion like this for a long time. This was our year-end push. We ran it through January 2nd, just like the automakers do. So please, if we can help you out with anything, CarEdge.com. If you know anyone who's in the market to purchase a vehicle, please turn them on to CarEdge.com or the YouTube channels or the social media following, all that fun stuff. We've got big plans for 2025. We appreciate everyone that's a part of the community. I'm done wearing collared shirts after today, so back to normal hoodies starting tomorrow. Dad, I love you. Have a fantastic start to 2025, and yeah, let's have a good one.
I love you as well, and I just might celebrate the start of 2025 with a wonderful Cooper Sharp cheesesteak from Florida Cold Cuts. What do you think?
Yep, we're leaving it. Did you go for a walk last week? It was so beautiful. Or Tuesday, was it, that it was so warm? Or Wednesday, yesterday?
I walked down the steps. Yeah, yeah. I want you to know that anytime I go anywhere, I don't take the elevator down. I always walk. I don't walk up the steps because that hurts my knees for whatever reason. But I always make it a point to walk down the steps to get a little extra exercise that way. And I'm seriously considering utilizing some of the exercise equipment in our little tiny exercise gym type room here at the
my heart would melt. My heart would melt if you exercise, because I would be thrilled for you helping your body, feel, I don't know. It's just, I think exercise is good. So I'd be thrilled if you did that.
I've heard that exercise is good. I've heard that from you. I've heard that from my doctor.
Crazy.
I remember hearing that from your mother when she was still alive.
Yep.
So yes, I understand. I hear it from my brother, Uncle Kenny. He exercises and walks twice a day. So yeah, I might even start doing it.
All right, final thing. We're going to help John out here. Hey, guys, love your show. Can you comment on the pros, cons of buying a service loaner that are being traded out at year end? I'm looking at an Audi Q8 e-tron with under 5,000 miles and $30,000 off.
Okay. I have personally bought retired service loaners.
That was
We
the
had
MDX we had in
we
Arizona,
had an
didn't we?
MDX that was a retired service loaner, and it was certified. And I bought it with like 3,500 miles on it. So certified, it actually came with a longer and better warranty than a brand new one with 0 miles on it. The concern with any service loaner is how did those service customers treat the vehicles? But we never had an issue with the MDX. My guess is you'll never have an issue with the Q8 e-tron. And the only thing I will say, John, is much like that dealership in California with all the extras, just maybe ask for a little more off. I mean, maybe because you can't get what you don't ask for, but maybe ask for a little and see if they'll give it to you.
Yep, exactly. Love that, Dad. All right, folks, have a fantastic January 2nd. Enjoy the college football that's on later today. Yeah, we probably should have acknowledged the fact that there was the terrible terrorist attack in New Orleans. I'm going to be heading to New Orleans for NADA. I'm nervous, Dad, to be down there. Honestly, I hate seeing stuff like that happen. So hearts and prayers go out to the folks that were impacted by that and to that city, man. If there's a city that doesn't need to be dealing with crap, it's New Orleans. So that place is still recovering from Hurricane Katrina. So that was really, really, really terrible to see. Really scary. Really, really scary.
Actually, very scary. Yes.
It's unbelievably scary. Yeah. So hey, our hearts, condolences go there. Enjoy your January 2nd. Much love, Dad.
I love you too, handsome. And I'm guessing we'll be back doing this again tomorrow.
I'm in. I'm here.
Okay, I'm in too. And I can't believe how quickly 2025 is. I mean, this is the second day already. Oh my goodness gracious!
It's over, baby.